everyone. This is Mike with the Insightful Self, and we're here with a nice mindfulness meditation. So find yourself a comfortable position, either sitting on the ground, sitting in a chair, or lying on the ground, or even if you prefer, you can try standing. And if you are sitting, I recommend that you sit with a cushion or a pillow, something underneath your butt that will help raise the hips and it'll just make it a bit more comfortable opening up the hips. So find an even distribution of weight across your sitting bones. And find a comfortable place to rest your hands, either one on top of the other in your lap, or just on top of your legs, with your elbows underneath your shoulders. And your back is straight, yet relaxed. Your shoulders are loose and resting. You can tuck your chin very slightly forward towards your chest, just reducing any tension in the upper back and in the neck. And then we can find the resting place for our tongue, which is where the incisors meet the upper gums. And you'll find that it just wants to sit there nicely. And if you feel inclined, you can bring a smile to your face. In preparation for the day or this evening, or just because you're creating the space for meditation. And then try to relax your cheeks, and you can relax your eyes. Relax your forehead, and you can relax your scalp. Allow that sensation to kind of flow gently down, relaxing your neck and shoulders, relaxing your back and arms, down to your hands, just allowing them to feel like lead falling and just resting on your legs. The lower back, relaxing down your legs. Everything kind of melting, releasing any tension being held there. Down your calves and your knees, your ankles, and down to your feet. So take a nice couple of breaths in through the nose and just check in with yourself. So how are you feeling today, right now, in this moment? Just notice how your body feels. What kind of physical feelings are present. And try to notice if any emotional sensations are present. And you can can try to notice the difference between emotional sensations of the body versus the kind of touch or nerve physical sensations of the body. And then also notice what's happening for you mentally. How is your head feeling? Is it a little bit tense? Is there a little bit of pressure anywhere? Or is it feeling pretty light and open? Are you feeling any stress? Are you feeling pleasant? And just know that whatever's happening, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, it's okay. Whether it's anger or love, they're both completely acceptable feelings to be having. And we try to notice them without judgment and with acceptance, without resistance. When there's a really wonderful expression that goes, when we resist, it persists. And so allowing space for unpleasant emotions or feelings allows them to take their course and to process, and therefore become alleviated. And then they will no longer exist for that time. So when we resist, they persist. And so that's something that's very challenging. But in this exercise of checking in, we can, when we notice an unpleasant feeling where we're jealous or we're angry or we're envious, we want something to be different than it is, we're berating ourselves for not being better, we can notice that this is happening and then take a minute with our breath, check in, and just allow ourselves to pull away from identifying with those emotions and pull away from identifying with the situation and come into a state of just noticing with non-judgmental acceptance, allowing space for whatever's happening to happen, and just watching and trying not to identify with it, trying not to get pulled into any stories surrounding those emotions, but just feeling them. How are they being presented in the body? How are they feeling in my mind? What thoughts are happening? But just allowing them to be like clouds. They're just floating through. They're not who you are. And just noticing with the kind of, I like the idea of like you put on your lab coat and you're a scientist and you're bringing these emotions and feelings under the microscope. And so when the scientist is looking down at his plate of, we'll say, blood to see what's happening in there, there's the complete, knowing that this is not me. And it's a little bit harder when we're looking, into things that we are personally feeling, but it is true. It's more like we're putting on our lab coats and we're looking at ourselves or at these emotions and thoughts under the microscope, removing ourselves from identifying with it and just knowing what is happening, seeing what is happening. And so with that, let's check in one more time. Take a nice couple of deep breaths through the nose. You can even notice rising, 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 and then falling, falling, falling as you exhale, creating a little bit of space for you to work in. And then check in. How are you feeling right now in this moment? And this is something that when you practice in like a formal meditation frequently, maybe daily, then it's something that you can come into very easily. This is, for me, the number one benefit that I've found for myself is that I can more acutely become aware of sensations and feelings in my body and thoughts in my mind when they're at the very baby levels before they build in intensity. And then I can just take like a single breath or two, and I can just allow myself creating space with the breath and coming inwards to notice, oh, this is happening. And once I notice it's happening and I can accept it being there, I can then kind of act maybe a little bit differently in the situation than I would have otherwise. And so with a lot of practice in meditation and focusing on the breath and focusing on checking in, this becomes easier and easier to kind of to come inwards and to create that space and create that presence with the breath. So I hope you enjoyed today's meditation, and I challenge you just to try that, outside of the formal practice that we're in right now. And in your day-to-day, just randomly, when you think about it, check in, take a couple of breaths, 5 to 10 breaths, wherever you are, and just be like, okay, let me check in. Maybe you're going to the store or you're going home and you're about to leave your car. And just before you leave your car, just check in. I hope you have a very nice day, everyone. Namaste.